All right, everybody, welcome to session 76 of Descent into Fernia. Who would like to give the recap?
I died. So we leveled up. So,
Yeah, lots of this is what my notes say. Trebek dies, Pantone dies, Takash dies, But's revived by the Brandon one. Yeah, we fought the Shadow of Death, and it was not. It was true to its name.
Ewan could have done it.
Right. We encountered I don't know his name. Maybe we weren't given a name, but we encountered this fleeing person who stumbled out of his infernal machine and said he needed our help, and he was being chased by the Shadow of Death. The Shadow of Death then pulled up in his infernal machine that, then started spewing out these little constructs like zits being popped. They just started flying out of the machine. And suddenly we had like a whole wave of creatures we had to fight. The Shadow of
All
Death
with
then
seven.
went. Well, you're right. And so consequently, every time you attacked one of them, a bunch of others got attacks on you. And you couldn't really move because one of them was going to hit you and stop you from moving. So you just really had to stay out of their way.
Yeah, because you can't disengage from them either. So
Right, you couldn't disengage from them, and Takash seems like he's mostly a frontline kind of guy. So he waited in there to his detriment in the end. But we were still able to more or less take out the minions and then had to fight the Shadow of Death. At some point, I actually forget who, if it was Blade or not, who went into the other guy's vehicle, the wounded guy's vehicle.
It was Blade.
And
He's
yeah,
basically like he wasn't effective in the fight, so it's like I'm just gonna go steal his car and maybe try to run him over, maybe try to bail you guys out. Like, if anything, like we came for the car and we came for a mode of transportation, and we could leave with one.
right. So eventually he rode over in our direction after we defeated the Shadow of Death. We were able to revive Takash and Trebek. Uh we didn't revive Pantone because Melodia could do that on her own.
Yep.
One
Plus,
hopes, or else that's a really bad class feature.
But also, why let good meat go to spoilage?
And it turned out the vehicle has like an extra dimensional space inside with beds, proper beds, not just like that pull-out couch we had in our infernal machine.
Mm-hmm.
can
Yeah.
travel through time and space.
Only one way to find out. I mean, technically, yes, everything travels through time and space.
In multiple
Right.
directions.
And it had weapons that you could activate by spending hit dice. Because one thing we have like way too many of is hit dice. We never need hit points, so might as well spend them on these weapons.
So
I used all mine. I know that much. And I still died.
But yeah, so that is one of the interesting things about this vehicle is that it doesn't require soul coins, but instead uses the investiture of your own life force to power the vehicle. Which the person that you saved, whose name is Ornifex, he is the engineer that built this vehicle and used it as an opportunity to escape from the Shadow of Death. He also had an interesting companion of some kind of creature made out of an egg that stood on his shoulder. And he Yeah, so the fight ended with Lux going into the vehicle, being shown by Ornifex how to activate the weapon, which then vaporized not only the Shadow of Death, but also the top of the vehicle that Blade had um, commandeered from the Shadow of Death. And as Lux pulls the trigger and accomplishes that feat, Ornifex weakly goes, "Yes, you've done it. You've finally rid me of that vile creature."
No, I'm the Shadow of Death.
And that's when also Lux, as you look around in this space that is much larger than should be containable by the vehicle, you see that at each of the workstations is the desiccated body of creatures that may have been using these weapons to the point of sacrificing themselves in order to try and escape from the Shadow of Death. Whether they did so intentionally because it was better to die this way than to face the Shadow of Death's wrath, who knows? But
Right. And I used one hit die to get 2 hours to activate the vehicle.
yep.
Okay. And I remember I drove over there and picked everybody up.
Mm-hmm. So everybody should be able to see the stats for the vehicle in the party tab under Soul Reaver. So let me know if you're unable to see that.
I could see it.
Yep, I got it.
All right.
And I think we were going to like loot his vehicle, or I don't know if he had other vehicles. Well, we're just basically going to try to get what we can from his whatever he's got left.
Well, he had like a stash of regular weapons.
Okay.
That I don't know why we wouldn't take them, but I don't remember that. I believe there was nothing actually all that special about the weapons,
So
but you
everybody's
never
welcome.
know.
Everybody who is choosing to investigate that further can give me an investigation check.
I'm sorry, investigating the weapons.
Yeah, investigating the vehicles and the
Oh, okay.
weapons and, everything that might still be there.
So to clarify, is the Soul Reaver Ornifex's vehicle or is the Shadow of Death's vehicle?
So it was created by Ornifex, but it was in fact the Shadow of Death who made Ornifex create it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Takash, are you gonna roll to investigate, or are you just hanging out chilling?
First off, I'm too dumb, and now I'm exhausted, so there's no way I'm finding anything.
All right, fair enough.
I'm poking at the wall. What's this do?
So, Branded One and Blade, both of you notice some interesting things. So Blade, you look through the Shadow of Death's vehicle. As you're searching through it, you see a compartment. It's not quite hidden, but it's also not quite obvious at first glance that it is a compartment. And you try to find an opening. There's no, you can see a seam, but there's not really a clear way of opening it. And as you touch it, you notice that it's kind of springy. So you push it, and pushing it into it unlocks it. And the council raises out, and you see a couple of items of interest. One is a bracer that you know that is similar to one that the Shadow of Death himself wore, and then also is that shoulder-mounted like crossbow weapon. And you see that there are those two items, yeah, within. Branded one, as you're searching through the 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 various things that lie around, one thing that you notice is that while the halberds of the war hearts, or the glaives of the war hearts, largely aren't mechanical, there's one that you do sense to be magical. And as you do that, give me an Arcana check. Okay. So with your Arcana check, and based on like what you saw of the war hearts, it's very likely that they may have been some kind of collective creature in a sense, or somehow connected as a collective. And this weapon seems to be the originator of some of the abilities that the war hearts were able to harness through their collective capacities.
I mean, I would take that to see if ultimately Takash is interested in it. It's clearly not something that I would use.
Mhm.
So part of me is now wondering if they were really like some sort of hive mind collective creature, then when you attacked any one of them, you were really attacking them all, so it shouldn't have triggered Sentinel. And then I would realize that that is clearly just the puppet master putting thoughts in my head, because
Right. There's no such thing as individuality amongst the Borg.
Blade would grab the bracers and the shoulder mounted crossbow and return to the group. I have found these personal effects of our late friend, the Shadow of Death. It is a parting gift. Would yeah. If anybody finds this of interest, you may please take it.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
what about any of the
yeah.
what about any of the crossbow bolts he was shooting with that thing? Because those are what really hurt us.
So,
Yeah.
Blade, you would notice that there are no bolts that went with it. There's no like bolt case or anything like that. If there were any on the Shadow of Death, they were vaporized with his body.
There were no bolts.
You could try, see if the device will still have the same magical effects with normal bolts. We can create normal bolts.
Hands-free ranged option is always useful. Is that the only one?
And I would hand you the mechanical glaive. I haven't figured out how it works yet, but I think it has similar abilities to what those creatures you fought have.
The mechanical glaive. Right. The glaive is two-handed though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And it's a heavy weapon.
but it has reach.
Yeah.
So that maybe you don't have to be like right up in their face.
That I can't use my shield.
Yeah, but if you're 10 feet back, maybe you don't need the shield.
They'll just get closer. And then I need my shield again.
It's a shame that he blew the top off of this other vehicle. So where's Ornifex going then? I mean, I would pull people away and to say, because we may need to kill Ornifex and steal his vehicle.
He does not seem hostile.
Ours is the greater need. If he's willing to just let us have his vehicle, that's fine.
I mean, we may be able to convince him to come with us.
Why would we do that?
What else has he got to do?
Kill us? Once he has regained his strength?
He did seem to work all those other creatures to death at the weapon stations. I mean, surely we don't think we could just trust someone we met in Fernia simply because they were wounded when we met them and needed help.
My primary concern is his fiendish background.
There you go, right there. He's a fiend.
Most certainly is.
Actually, that's a good.
Oh, so Takash, when you
Mhm.
did your divine sense to confirm that he was a fiend,
Uh-huh.
the egg creature did not present as a fiend.
Yeah,
egg
where's the
creature
egg? Where's
Okay.
the egg creature now? I forgot about the egg creature.
Hanging out on
Was he undead?
Ornifex's shoulder.
Is he celestial or undead?
No.
Probably a monstrosity then. Not necessarily better.
While everyone else is debating, I'm going to take a minute and meditate to revive Panto.
Okay.
Do I get the 5 healing or lay on hands that I would normally get at a level up?
Yes.
Well, sweet. I'm going to touch myself and heal for 5. A slight glow as a.
That was not what I was envisioning when you said you're going to touch yourself.
I know.
Or,
That was on purpose, and that's okay.
I'm still here. I'm just off screen.
Well, for the time being, we might as well use this creature's vehicle to drive where we need to go. We can figure out if we're going to continue to travel with it.
Give him one of the other ones outside.
It may be useful to have him with us. There are still things about his vehicle we don't understand.
Mm.
It does.
Traveling with him, he'll have time to explain the functioning of all the various odd bits of equipment to us.
Assuming that we give him no reason to doubt our intentions. Otherwise, he will save the most dangerous for last.
It would be wise to do that. But as long as he's willing to travel with us, I don't have any problem with him staying around. I'm just saying we should be ready because at some point he may let us know that he wishes to take his vehicle and go on his own way. I'm sure he has other things to do and no real connection to the Silver Flame or Flame Keep. And then I look at Takash, realizing Takash has no connection to the Silver Flame or Flame Keep.
I'm quite fond of the Silver Flame. Great storyteller.
Well, let's enter into. Let us confer with Ornifex and at least see if he is able to accompany us to the tomb.
Well, presumably he still needs healing, and time to rest. So he should be willing to accompany us that far.
I need those things. As I use my last spell slot to cast my last cure wounds on myself.
So I'm going to head to Ortifex's vehicle.
I'm taking care of the baby thing real quick.
No problem. Yeah, I was saying before you got on, Tony, that the branded one now has incontrovertible evidence of the puppet masters, because when he leveled up, he went from spell slots to spell points. And so, like, that's that discontinuity in how his powers work. It's a little too obvious.
Well, if the puppet masters would like to adjust Takash's hit point value, that'd be great too.
You're
I forgot, but I figured out that somewhere along the way I forgot to take a meta magic option. So I pulled a Dustin, as it's now known, of not not taking advantage of all of my class features.
Only using first level spells.
because I did it. I did it again. There was a move that I should have got at 5th level, and then like an upgrade at 10th level. That would have, it would have been nice, helpful in combat.
So, Blade, Takash, Branded One, and Melodia, as you approach Ornifex's vehicle and you enter it, you see that it really is designed in a way where there's only space for one person to really be sitting in it comfortably. There's there's one way in, but there's 2 doors. And as you try the door in the back of the vehicle, opening it just opens it out to the back into Fernia.
So like we like open up the back door and see like Fernia through the door.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't seem right. Is this some sort of magic trick?
Outside, or are we inside it, or what?
We're like outside. We're like standing on the outside, you open the door and you look through the door and you see outside.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
So
like the mirror.
So there's a door right here that you can enter into. And there's a door in the back and opening the door, just you go right out the back. Meanwhile, Lux and Ornifex, you're in this larger space.
Reading through the description, it says 1 hit dice for 1 hour to activate. Is that right?
I think it should be 2 hours.
Okay.
So Ornifex and Egg are kind of looking at you, Lux. So, what now?
Well,
Close the
have-
door and like knock on it.
we have aided you, and now we need your assistance.
You have helped me be rid of the Uja de Kepe, de Kide. So, I would be willing to provide assistance. But I must stay with this vehicle. This is my life's work here. I can't let you and your friends just take it.
Well, no, that's fine. We just need to go somewhere. And hopefully, we can ride in your vehicle and maybe use the vehicle when we get there. And then after that, we'll figure out the rest.
I can agree to that. But just for insurance, to make sure that our bargain is based on trust. Only I can open up the door to make sure that it goes back into the cabin. So just know this. If you want to be able to use the vehicle freely, as it's meant to be used, you need me to do so.
Well, yeah, it's your vehicle. I don't even pretend to know how to work this stuff. I mean, what's a hit die?
Forgive me for if I am stating the obvious, but this is a dangerous place. Many would think nothing of it to slay me and my companion just to take the vehicle, whether they know how to use it or not.
Yeah, but we are not like the shadow of death. I mean, we're not a whole lot better, but we're not the shadow of death. So we have no interest in slaying you and taking your vehicle that we don't know how to run, just so we will leave it by the side of Fernia to watch it explode and us trek along and take a long, arduous by land journey that we have to make constant con checks and worry about food and water, and then make the overlords provide us with another vehicle since it's taking way too long to get to our objective. So no, we have no interest in slaying you.
It's a lot of information.
That is that's oddly specific.
Very well. And Ornifex holds out his bony claw and a gesture expecting a handshake.
Yeah, I'll shake his bony hand.
Good. And then Ornifex, he goes to the door, mumbles something. It's difficult for you to hear exactly what it is. And the door opens, and suddenly whoever is in front of it on the other side sees that it doesn't just open out into Fernia, now it's opening out into this larger room.
Well, that was interesting to watch.
Can I check out the horses that are pulling this thing?
Yeah. And
Oh,
just
no.
as a reminder, when the vehicle stopped previously, the horses disappeared. It wasn't until
Oh, okay.
Lux infused a bit of her essence to charge the vehicle that the horses reappeared.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that.
And really they're not horses, they're horse-sized wolves
Okay.
made of fire.
I mean, do they seem to be like corporeal, or are they more just like living flame at this point? Like
Living flame.
Okay.
I mean, as you approach, they kind of look at you, but then they just kind of go back
Okay.
to looking ahead.
Yeah, difference between wolf on fire versus fire wolf.
Mm-hmm. And also difference from fire wolf and air wolf.
Mhm.
Airwolf would be cool. We should find whichever infernal lord has Airwolf.
So I guess we see this spacious room. Blade would walk in.
Let's bring that up.
So I'm thinking the Air Wolf Infernal Lord would one of the bosses would be Air Bud in a basketball tournament. I think that'd be fantastic.
All right. Ornifex will face the group as they enter and say, I have made a bargain with your friend. We will travel together.
Wonderful. I was the first. What was made of this bargain?
Yeah, it was a side-eye Lux for a second.
Yeah. Tell me more about this bargain.
Confirm both her arms are this right color. They're not, one's not like decrepit and
Our friend here will get us to our destination, and then from there we will negotiate the rest.
You did not give up your soul for this bargain, did you?
No.
Very good.
inside check.
Later, Blade would like at some point when he could get like a word in with Lux, he'd be like, "That's a good move. It is wise to save your bargaining chips till the end." Beds? Those look comfortable for you.
Supposed to be comfortable.
Bed will be very, very useful soon. We should have sustenance as soon as possible. Does this,
I
does this,
cannot help with.
no kitchen on this boat?
No.
What's the temperature in here? Ish.
It's about 70 degrees.
Oh, okay. So it's like,
Very cool compared
Yeah.
to the outside.
okay.
Yeah,
These
much
aren't
more
bad
tolerable.
accommodations, other than the fact that it's freezing in here. Well, I will. If someone can direct me which way to go, I will be powering this machine for the next hour and 45 minutes.
Is that how long it takes to get to our destination?
I'm not sure.
It was my understanding we kind of had just sort of an innate sense as to where we need to go.
Yeah. And
Sadly.
for everybody that has walked into this chamber, the walls appear to be made of stone, but there are inlays of gold that follow like the patterns and swirls going all about interconnecting in ways that don't quite make a whole lot of sense. It seems like just a scribble of gold upon these gold walls or these stone walls. But at each of these councils, not only is there a desiccated person minus one that's been thrown to the side, but at each council, there's also what appears to be some kind of window to see into the outside and controls for some other purpose that are not known. In the center of the room, there is a table that is built that can comfortably accommodate everybody. And obviously there is this room with beds, each one with a chest at the foot of the bed. But there's also this strange staircase that you don't know where that goes to.
Oh, I definitely clocked it.
Must be the wine cellar.
Does it go up or down?
It goes up.
Yeah.
The bidet.
Where do the stairs go?
They go to the top of the vehicle. There's another station there, but it had to be built outside.
This is a nice place that you've got. This is very comfortable.
It took me a long time to make it. It is my life's work. Me and Egg did it.
You and Ed?
Egg.
Egg.
And then he points to the egg on his shoulder that immediately looks to everybody and then does a salute.
Does Egg stand for something, or is Egg his name?
His name.
He does look like an egg.
He does, but
It is a fitting name.
I mean, we don't really care what he stands for. He's on our side.
What manner of creature is this?
I can't say. He appeared to me one day. He doesn't speak, but he has kind
Yeah.
eyes. I felt
We
I could
could-
trust him.
likes
Good
to
ass.
salute.
Yeah. Too bad he doesn't speak. We could ask him who came first.
I do not get the reference.
This seems like the perfect like little buddy opportunity. So My eye will pop back out and wave one of its little tendrils at him.
It'll look at the tendril and the eye, and then look at you, and then at the eye, and then you, and then at the eye, and then you, and then salute.
The eye will just sort of walk along the table.
Is this the first time that we've seen this?
The eye, no. The eye came out briefly whenever I died.
Okay,
And
so
when you
Blade
sleep
might not have
sometimes.
seen it,
Yeah.
since Blade was in the Shadow of Death's vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've taken it out before. He keeps watch for us sometimes.
Yeah, I know you're taking it out. I don't remember the exact context.
Okay, so he's seen it. Presumably at least once. So he's already been surprised or grossed out.
Sure, yeah. It's a different color than my usual eye, so
I mean, with all the talk of like kitchens and food, I thought you were going to suggest maybe egg had another purpose.
I'm gonna
I
just
call
walk over to
dibs.
a bed.
I call dibs on the gold bed.
Wouldn't
I
you want
then
the
begin making
wouldn't you
I
want the
then
silver
begin
bed for the
making
silver flame?
that. You'd think so, but this is a great place to make a fort right here in this corner. I could drag my chest over, take everybody's pillows to build a roof.
Hello for it.
We should be going.
Yeah, should we rest here, or should we try finding a somewhere else?
I will say it's too early to rest.
Oh,
It's
okay.
still like midday. Actually, maybe not even that early. Early, like probably 11 or so equivalent. Since you had just before this, you had left the forest and you were traveling for about 2 hours before you encountered all of this.
I mean, I've been
So
pretty tired at 11 a.m. before.
sure, but you can't get the benefit of full rest. You can nap
I don't
if you want, but that doesn't count.
I died. I feel like this is like a whole new day for me.
You feel like it is.
It's the first day of the rest of your life.
Right.
However long that may last.
Can
Right.
I
Not
check
very
out the corpses? Just anything I can gather from them, information or something.
Yeah. So, what is there anything in particular that you're looking for or looking at?
No, just general, like if they're humanoid, if they're fiend, if they're like how long they've been here, just sort of more general topical information right now.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna do some checks for you silently.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess I would ask whether or not we should bury these bodies. Seems imprudent to just keep them here.
So, before getting to that, Melodia, you can see that these bodies seem to be they're beyond desiccated. They're basically mummified. Um, they seem to be like have been decaying or rotting or desiccating for probably 10 years or so.
Okay.
So the fact that they're here and sitting in these positions is very strange. Um, Additionally, in terms of their anatomy, there are features that indicate that they aren't human for sure. And don't necessarily belong to any humanoid species that you know. There's nothing about their physiology that specifically cries out fiend or anything like that, but
Okay.
there there certainly are some things that you noticed, which are um, they all do have very large teeth that are very sharp in profile. One of them has very long, deadly looking claws. Another one of them has wings, but they're very vestigial almost.
Okay.
So each of them has some interesting characteristics that you can't quite place, uh, but definitely don't resemble anything that you're familiar with from back home.
So I'm sorry. What's the Ornifest? Is that his name?
Ornifex.
Ornifex. I'm gonna go up to Ornifex and just what. So who are these three unfortunate souls? Who were they?
They were my builders. I
What
engineered this place and they helped me build it.
what happened to them?
They sacrificed themselves, trying to stop Buja Dakide.
And why are they still here? They seem they seem to have been here for a long time.
That is the effect of these weapons. They draw your own life force in order to power them. In that way, we don't need soul coins. Because soul coins are not always easy to find.
We know that.
The trade-off is if you go beyond what you can provide safely, and it takes everything from you, and you no longer exist as you were.
While he says this, I eye Lux and just like watch yourself. Do you need us to help bury your friends?
Why would you bury
I am unaware of your culture.
Do you have any customs for honoring those who have passed on?
There is no honor for those who have passed. They simply cease. These are not they. These are garbage.
With that, Blade will just like pick up one of the corpses and throw him off the chair so he could sit down. Well, very well. If you're on your people do not honor the dead, then I will abide by your customs.
Okay.
Is Trebek died, right? Or did he get revived?
You got revived.
Oh.
You sound disappointed.
Oh, I've always hated Trebek.
Smart Alec.
All right, so what's the plan? Keep on heading the direction we need to go?
Seems like the best idea to me. We don't necessarily know if some minion of Buja Takide might not come looking for him at some point.
Right. Plus, we have places to be. We have a tight timeline.
I said before we go, we dump these the remains out of the building or the vehicle.
Makes sense to me. So I'd help you
Yeah,
drag them out.
So at that point, as Ornifex notices that you carry them out, he goes to the door, mumbles something, makes some movement that you can't quite see as he is intentionally hiding it, and then he opens the door for you.
So take them out and dump them.
yeah.
You know, Blade. No, that's not it. Ignore that one.
Fight a corpse.
No, Blade is going to you know, be scanning the surroundings, and he's gonna watch Ornifex do this little thing, and it sounds like he's trying to keep it hidden, keep it on the down low, but Blade's gonna contest that to see if he can, you know, ascertain what the hand movement is. With his special ability.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
Yes. Thanks. I think this was a This was thanks to reliable talent.
So you definitely try to like peer around Ornifex's shoulder to see what he's doing, to see what he's saying. But he notices you, and the minute that he notices you, he stops. What are you doing?
I was just admiring the door.
You were trying to find how I open it.
I have never seen such magic before.
And if I am successful, you will not. I don't have much leverage. I saw how you fought against the Warhearts and Buja Dakide. Without leverage, you may discard me just as you did my companions' bodies. I
There are
can't allow that.
There are many soulless creatures in Fernia. But we are not among them.
How am I to know that? You seem just as any others. This land is a brutal one.
The sooner we are able to leave this land, the better. It is not hospitable. How did you end up here?
I was born here. Were you not?
No, we are from Eberron. If that means anything to you.
does not.
It is another
You.
place.
You look like the Warhearts. There are differences, but there are similarities.
It is possible that they are other. It is possible that they are also creations of made by the same maker. The worlds collide in strange ways.
Okay. But
But
I would appreciate if you don't look over my shoulder as I open the door for you.
very well. My apologies. And he will go stand in the corner, embarrassed that he got caught.
And he'll make sure that you and nobody else is in a position to oversee what he's doing as he goes ahead and opens the door. So, doors open, discard the bodies, come back on. So, where is it that you wish to go?
There is a tomb. The tomb of Feanor. We must go there to retrieve something.
I am not familiar with the tomb nor this name, Fernor.
Be glad. We will direct you. If you are going to drive, then we will direct you in the direction of which it lies.
I am
It should.
too weary to drive. I have been driving for days, powering this vehicle with my life for days. I am past the point of exhaustion. I must rest.
I think the yellow bed is taken, but it seems the rest are good. We will.
The white pillared bed looks like it's taken as well.
Yeah, I'm in one.
Akash is bouncing up and down on it.
I think I'll have Pantone drive while we all sleep.
That reminds me, is it Toonces, the driving cat?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of as well.
Ornifex
I mean,
would say,
I would go back up. I assume Lux is going to drive since she already. I mean that's a question. Lux put like 2 hit dice into powering the vehicle. Does that mean she now has to pilot it, or can anyone sit and drive?
Or is it just the weapons that do the hit dice?
no, the engine requires it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Lux invested 1 hit dice, which should power the vehicle for 2 hours. She doesn't have to be the one to drive it. So, but Lux, are you proficient in land vehicles?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if she doesn't need to drive it, and I probably would test this out anyway, just to make sure that that's the case. But I'll drive otherwise.
Ornifex would say, if you need to get somewhere more quickly, assuming that there is some kind of need for alacrity, if you invest more of your life force, you can increase the speed of the vehicle. It may put strain on the vehicle, but It is rare for this one to break down in any significant way. I have built it well.
Oh, we'll find a way.
Hmm.
We've destroyed every vehicle so far.
Our one vehicle.
Yeah, we traded the one in. It was pretty beat up, I think. Driving it through the ground.
We may need that option after we get to this tomb, but I believe we're relatively close to the tomb. And I would rather conserve our resources in case we need to get away after that.
Very well.
How fast
Or-
can it go?
So
How many hit dice can we put into it?
you could, if you put 2 more hit dice into it, you can double your speed. And right now it's already faster than the demon grinder that you had. At 120 feet per round. So
Is that the limit? 3 hit dice?
at one time, yeah.
Okay.
So 1 hit dice to power it for 2 hours. 2 additional hit dice will double its speed over that time.
Okay, so it doesn't extend the time, it just goes faster for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we paint flames on. Yeah, if we paint flames on the side, will it go faster?
It already
Or
has
just-
flames coming out of it and flame wolves, fire
Yeah, but
wolves.
that's not painted on the side.
That's true. Maybe
I
a
would
good racing stripe and some
speed bullet holes.
speed bullet holes. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't see any fins on this thing, which is a clear design oversight.
Right.
I
It needs a
was
spoiler.
really hoping to
Yeah.
dump like 16 dice into this thing and just like let it start really going. Break the sound barrier type thing.
Yeah.
Everyone chip in 3 and let's go.
Too fast, too furious. Yeah. Edition.
Too fast, too fiendish. So yeah, I would drive and get a feel for how this handles, since it's only the second. Well, no, that's true. There was the one we broke down in as part of my backstory. So I guess this is the 3rd vehicle I've driven.
And I think I recall you saying, but I might be wrong. Did you say it was a lot easier to view from this one, like than the Demon Grinder?
Yeah.
Okay, so theoretically you probably don't need a spotter, but if you need one, I can.
I mean, my eyesight is terrible, so it's good that there aren't other cars on the road.
So Ornifex would open the door so that branded one you can go into the driver's seat. Ornifex would also offer Melodia, if you wish, I can open the roof for you and you can be outside. You will have very clear view of the
Sure,
outside.
I will. Let's see how driving goes first, and if I need to, I will step outside to help. But right now, let's see how not outside goes.
Does he have to leave the door open for the driver's seat, or otherwise,
No.
how is Brandon gonna have to get out?
How is Brandon going to get out?
Yeah,
I mean, there's a door that leads directly outside.
Yeah, there's 2 doors that lead directly outside without Ornifex's intervention.
So my question would be, can I still communicate with the people in the extra dimensional room when the door is not open?
You can by pounding on the door.
we don't have a bag of holding, right?
I think Lux has a bag of holding.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah,
That
I
worked
got one.
out.
Yeah, I got it.
As old dude considered that in his calculations.
Yeah, this isn't affected by that.
Less extra dimensional, just dimensional stretching. We'll say that. How about that?
Sure. So Blade, are you doing anything with those items that you found?
I mean, he offered them to anyone if they wanted them. I feel like Blade kind of hoards magic items, so he's gonna try to not hoard these and give them.
I'm sorry, what were they again? I was updating part of my character sheet I forgot about.
One was the bracer that Fujita wore that may have something to do with his turning invisible, so it could kind of be useful maybe for Blade or for Melodia. And the other was the shoulder-mounted crossbow, where we still have to test to see whether or not it can fire regular bolts or how it works. Maybe it doesn't need bolts to be
I mean,
loaded.
I might be intrigued with the shoulder-mounted crossbow, but
As would I, since I don't have any.
oh yeah, yeah,
I
you
don't
don't
have a ranged
yeah,
option.
yeah, you don't have any range, so yeah, you should take it first. Yeah.
Just be like
I mean,
laying there in bed examining it.
Goes off several times.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you take that because I don't need more ranged weapons.
So Takash, you have the crossbow and you have the halberd. Which of them are you focusing on?
The crossbow.
Okay. Go ahead and give me
If I have to think too hard about it, I'm just gonna put it down.
You're gonna fall asleep.
Too dumb and I'm too tired.
I will say that there's no clear way to like put it on your shoulder and
Sure.
have it work. It looks like it's not straps, but rather like strange sort of like it just doesn't seem like there's any way to comfortably put it on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's too many protrusions.
Do I remember what it looked like on that guy? The few times he was visible.
Yeah. I mean, if you are familiar with Predator, it looked just like that.
Uh-huh. I suppose I never really fully looked into how it hooks up to the Predator, so I just know it's like attached to his fucking back somehow. Normally to some armor that he's wearing.
Yeah, from memory, I thought it was looked like football shoulder pads that was like melded into it essentially.
Right.
I mean, the normal Predator could take it off. But you haven't seen how Buja Takide, dealt with that.
While I drive, I can keep an eye out if we come across any like hot tar pits. Just glue that sucker right on.
Takash, as you're looking at it, you do get the sense that it is very complicated. Did Takash want to enlist somebody else's help to kind of figure it out?
maybe. Yeah, so I'm like, sort of like amble on over to where Blade would be, wherever he might be. Oh, you're sort of mostly mechanical.
He looks down. This is news to me.
Have you not seen a mirror?
I try to avoid my own reflection. But you look perplexed. Is there something I can help you with?
Just trying to understand how this might attach to something. It was obviously on that creature's back.
Let me see. This is finely crafted. Yeah, and Blade will kind of turn it over in his hands and see if he can figure out how it's attached or how one would attach it. Specifically to Kosh, but I guess in general, and then seeing if that would apply to Kosh or his armor.
He wasn't obviously working it with any trigger like normal ones. So it must have some other method of control.
Blade, I would allow you an insight check to try and gain insight into how this thing works.
There we go.
That is a very high roll. High enough that I will just unlock it for you. So this is everything about that.
Blade is like turning it over in his hands, and he's like, "Ah, it makes sense. It is designed to be attached to, well, people like myself. The shadow of death must have been either had been part me or part Warforged, or perhaps he surgically grafted it on himself. In which case, if you wanted to get this on you, we'd have to perform surgery. Shall I get the sewing needle?
Is anybody here actually trained in this sort of procedure?
Oh. I'm trained in jeweler's tools, but I'm pretty sure that they'll do the trick. After all, I am feeling very on point.
If this were Baldur's Gate, I'd go for it. But I can't trust Mike with this. No. If Mike ran Baldur's Gate, I would have lost that eye. Okay.
Blade
I
like
believe,
has the sewing needle, and he like puts it down, like he's holding it up, and then he realizes that you're not going to do it, and he like brings his hand down, looking a little disappointed.
the branded one is trained in medicine. That doesn't mean he's good at it. He's just trained in it. And I believe Melodia is also trained in it.
Do you have good dexterity? Because apparently you have to make a medicine dexterity check.
I mean,
I have excellent dexterity.
I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe in Huss Mountain, we just decided to rip a halfling out of a wall, or that was our idea. So
Yes, that was in
I
our
wasn't there for
expert medical. Our
Yeah.
expert medical opinion. We killed a halfling by ripping him out of a wall. Thank God for medical malpractice insurance.
I mean,
Yeah.
I understand this is certainly intriguing. Only if someone truly felt that they could do it, might I consider it. Also, perhaps tomorrow.
Is there any like firing mechanism on it, or is it all like sort of controlled some other way that we can't tell?
There's no clear firing mechanism.
Okay.
It seems that this thing is easier to attach to something without the flesh.
Indeed. I'd have to augment my armor and everything, so it's probably best to go on you.
Yeah, if you look at the description, it's the DC 20 medicine check, and you have to make a con save. This sounds like a nightmare for Takash.
Yeah. I get a +6 on it, so I got a 50% chance of making that con save. I don't have to make the surgery check. Somebody else does, but
Right. I mean, I have a 20 dexterity. I suspect Melodia does as well.
No, I only have an 18.
if you're trained in medicine,
Right.
totally doable. I don't trust this worn out version to do anything successful here. So
But I'm not actually down there at the moment to even consider it.
right.
Well,
And
think
it
it over.
takes a full day.
Think it over. It will be there waiting for you. But it looks like it will be quite an ordeal to get it surgically attached.
Well, like I said, I would have to augment my armor somehow in order to be able to wear it and have this attached to me.
Maybe the bracers are more your speed.
If you needed to augment your armor, I could do that.
No, that's
I am
okay.
an engineer after all.
No. Blade, you can have them. I will look into I'll look at these bracers, I suppose, but I would imagine I'd do something very similar to what he was doing and let you turn invisible. It seems a handy trick.
Ornifex will walk over, noticing what you're carrying. Says, "Oh, that does not turn you invisible."
Does it turn you into friend? Does it make you friendly?
No, that bracer. Bujanakide had a interesting set of beliefs. Most importantly, he hated to lose. If he ever felt he was on the verge of loss, he would make sure that it was unacceptable for the other. So he created bracers like that. That's should anyone best him, it would explode. I actually designed this for him.
See him paying off it's already good that we have him around. Because otherwise we'd activate the device and be like, it's counting down to cast invisibility.
Got 5 minutes till I'm invisible. Mm. Well,
So with
do you have to?
ornament,
Do you have to wear it in order for it to explode?
well, yes, sort of. And he'll provide a description that gives you enough that you can access the item.
$100 DC 18. I don't know that I want Pikash the Fragile activating this.
That wasn't my intent with it. I just figured activate it and then throw it at my enemies. Is that possible? I'll just look to this creature. Could it be augmented to where we could begin a countdown and throw it or something, or leave it someplace?
It would need modifications. This is not undoable.
Maybe we secretly put it on someone and activate it.
Seems like
That would
be
probably be
willing to
better
do it.
because you'd have to row it 100 feet.
Oh, we could run.
I mean,
Like I said, it's a countdown. So
how is like how big is the bracer? Can I put on an arrow and shoot it?
No.
I would assume probably not.
I just had the horrible thought, oh, suicide Pantone.
So
Well, how about this thing? I'll just go show him the damn fucking plasma caster. So, any possible way that this could be augmented to where it doesn't have to be grafted directly into organic skin?
unfortunately not. It needs to be able to sense the thoughts of the person using it. I have not been able to find a way to do that without directly grafting it into their bodies. Of course, I didn't actually do the grafting. I just designed the weapon. There were others in Buja de Kide's camp that could perform this.
What made Bujadakide start hunting you? What'd you do?
I escaped, and I took his prized vehicle with me. He
Why?
believed that this vehicle would be a game changer.
What made you escape? What made you decide to escape?
Buja de Kide is a terrible, horrible creature. Vile, violence, unrelenting. It was torture every day working for him. If not for my skills, he would have killed me outright.
Well, he won't be a problem anymore.
Which is why I'm glad to be helping you as you have helped me.
Can I, is to the helm, can I just walk in, or is that a door that I can't just walk through?
The what?
The helm where branded one is piloting?
Yeah, you need Ornifex to open the door for you.
Okay. I was just basically checking to see how it's going in there, if he needs me on the outside to spot form at all.
So Ornifex can do that to allow you to talk to Branded One.
And while I'm in there, I'll just do like a one knock is good, two knocks is bad type thing. So how's it going up here?
I know Kurt's muted, but I like to think that the Branded One just doesn't see Melodia as important enough to talk to.
No, I said the door opens and the whole front of the vehicle's gone. No sign of the branded one.
Yeah.
Melodia didn't cross the threshold, so
Yep.
there's like no sound can traverse through it.
Yeah.
So how has my driving been going?
Pretty smooth, actually.
Right.
This vehicle handles better than any that you attempted to use so far. Maybe it's because of the small size of it, or because of the improvements to the suspension, or the fact that it's being towed by these flaming wolves. But it is a very smooth ride, and you notice that you're going very quick, a lot faster than the Demon Grinder could achieve, even without investing additional hit dice.
Well, I'd relay that to Melodia. It handles much more. It's much easier to drive than the Demon Grinder was.
Well, that's good to hear. I am going to try to recover while you continue piloting, and if you do need me, just let me know. Not that I can help you much on driving.
It's okay, because I'm not really sure how to contact you if I need help.
Yeah,
Bang on the door. It's about as much as I can do.
yeah. Blade will let me know then. He's always up and doing something.
So I assume there's nothing about the controls that I need to talk to Ornithect about.
No, the controls are pretty standard as far as you can see. Additionally, it's much easier to view the um, outside of the vehicle than it was in the Demon Grinder. You have a much clearer view of the front of the vehicle, and a bit of a wider angle. You still can't see to the sides of the back of the vehicle, but you're able to get what you need to be able to pilot fairly effectively. Um,
So then I would just keep driving. At some point, it's going to require me to put in hit dice, which I will do, on a sort of one by one basis for now. I don't want to prepay.
all right, let's see. Ooh. So,
And I drive it into a hole.
no, but you notice that as you're driving through the Fernian plains, there seems to be like a kind of strange mist that begins crawling along the ground in various spots. And you can see that looking out in front of you, the the shimmering of the air from the heat differential intensifies, and soon the entire area seems to be, and the entire ground is covered in this thick fog, and the refraction of the air seems to be so great that it makes it somewhat difficult to navigate, since so much of the area is distorted in front of you.
So I would, at that point, slow down. Like I want to have enough visibility that I can react
Mhm.
to whatever is ahead of us, so that I don't drive us into a ditch. And I would probably, I guess from the image, it's actually not even all that easy to like just go and knock on the door behind me. Like you've got to stop, I guess, which
No,
might be
you could totally just go.
okay. It just looks like a couple feet on the map.
I
I
mean,
was going to
it's fine.
suggest like that's what we do with the mechanical glaive. It becomes the new door knocker. So we just but I'll bang on the door and slow down.
If anybody wants to open or go through the door, Ornifex will
Where,
open it
where,
for you.
where is that door, by the way? Just, I know the, that's the outside door and to the helm.
Well, this is the door that
Oh,
leads right to here.
Okay. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. Yeah, I go in.
Some sort of fog that's collecting kind of out of nowhere. So I'm slowing down, but I don't trust adverse weather in Fernia, as it always seems as though it's hiding something.
Is there, I talked to Ornifex, is there, I asked him, is there any cover on the outside, on the top, or is it just outside?
No, it is completely open to the elements.
Okay. I am going to go out there, but before I do, I'm going to just going to burn through all those and give myself some temporary HP before I go back out. So I think I can cast that 4 times plus my wisdom. So I'm just going to roll all of that if you don't mind.
Well, temporary hit points don't stack.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'll just roll it once then.
Was almost its own plot point in Lex's backstory.
Okay, and that is up the spiral staircase, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ornifex will open the way for you to be able to travel up there. As you push the floor plate or the ceiling plate up to be able to climb into the this space right here on the top of the vehicle, where there is a chair that you can strap yourself into. What the first thing that you notice is how thick the air is. It is, to breathe almost feels like you are drowning. There's
What's it taste like?
It tastes like steam,
Okay.
but the air is so thick, it's like breathing water, and the humidity is just so intense. It makes the heat much more unbearable. But if Pantone is set to fire,
He is, yeah.
then you have immunity to fire. So you're able to stomach it, but it is still incredibly uncomfortable. What are you doing up there?
I am just trying to perceive, honestly, just trying to look if I can see, is this quote unquote naturally occurring? Is something causing this? Is there a cliff right in front of us that's can't be seen below? I don't know how. It sounds like this is obnoxiously dense fog, so I'm not sure how well I can actually see.
Well, it's not really fog per se. I mean, there's like a fog crawling around the ground, but
Okay.
it doesn't rise very far above
Oh,
the
okay.
ground.
So it's
What
low. Okay.
what you find more difficult to see is because of the way that the heat is refracting off of the thick, humid air. It's
Okay.
causing this effect where the
Yeah, I
the
was like,
clarity of what you're trying to see is just waving and shimmering as if you're looking at the surface of a wavy pool. Um, so but in terms of the Fernian plains, you don't see anything that breaks the plains. So there's no cliffs, there's no crevice or anything like that that you can notice. Um, but just sort of this general difficulty. There's also no creatures that you can see either. Um, to your best guess, this is some kind of natural weather phenomena. Um, but as you continue to sit in this space and to breathe this in, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
hmm. 6 is good enough, right?
Solid.
Okay. Message coming to you, Frank.
Can't wait. Also, after you're done with that, and before this, where is my orientation to the branded one, like the helm? Like, am I right above him, or am I like?
So if the branded one is here and this was like the layout, like, because if you look the top, like this and this sort of align in terms of the oh, actually it doesn't. I'll fix that. But there's only 2 spaces here and there's 3 here. But either way, uh so you're kind of here.
Okay.
So branded one is here, you're here.
Okay. Okay.
Um
Okay. I mean, under that, I keep on going.
okay. Uh It's the right size. So, yeah, you see nothing out of the ordinary.
Is there, I'm assuming the hull is quite thick, so I'm pretty sure me just stomping on the ground, branded one's probably not going to hear me.
No, but there does seem to be um like this weird mechanism that if you were to like pull it, it would create a click that could get the branded one's attention.
Like I'm sorry, a way to communicate, or a way just like to make a noise that he can hear.
To make a noise that he can
Oh,
hear.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go off of sort of what I said earlier, like 1 pound is okay, 2 pounds is bad. And I'm just going to make one clicky sound and just keep on keeping on.
Okay. So meanwhile, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm just laying down. I was very beat up, so pretty much all my resources are expended. So
And Blade, what about you?
He'll be inspecting the vehicle and like the circuitry and hardware. Just kind of idly.
Okay.
has it been long enough at least for a short rest?
Yeah.
I can get some stuff back. Yeah, my sacred oath at least.
I like that Blade was essentially just trying to steal this guy's password. And like obviously like looking over his shoulder as he puts the password in.
I was kind of imagining like, kind of like a Mr. Bean look where like he like looks over and
During the test scene.
Just need to be invisible next time.
Yeah.
Think that bracer can help.
Yeah.
Just turn it on.
Blade, what are you up to? Oh, you said you're
Yeah,
looking at
he's just kind of looking and
Pulling wires,
yeah.
stealing copper wire.
Yeah, stealing wires, stealing passwords, But no, he's trying to get a lay of the lay of how the electronics work.
how obvious are you being about it?
Pretty obvious. Like I he's not gonna like go in, and it's not like he's like going in and messing with stuff, but he will like, toggle the joysticks or like fiddle with the controls.
So noticing that you are doing that, Ornifex would actually go over and be pretty enthusiastic about sharing with you information about his creation, kind of going over the different things about it, things that he's proud of. And as he gesticulates to the various different things, you notice that Egg mimics all of his gestures.
At some point, Blade will not be able to contain a laugh. I do not mean to. I do not mean I am not laughing at you. I'm laughing at your friend.
Oh, yeah, he does that. He gets enthusiastic when I'm enthusiastic. It's kind of contagious, actually. I don't get to talk about these things very often. Buja Nikide didn't care for the details. He just wanted it done. So it
Wow.
is good that I have found somebody who appreciates the quality of craftsmanship that I've put into this.
It is
My,
very
my eye is on the table watching, jumping too.
it is very well done. The you clearly it is clearly built by an engineering mind.
Thank you. Takash, as your eyeball is kind of watching and everything, Egg actually, for the first time that you notice, like jumps off of Ornifex and bounds over to the eye and kind of starts mimicking as if he's talking to it, but there's clearly no sound coming out of Egg.
Mhm. That's fine. The eye, they commute. There's like a mutual understanding between the two, you know. Uh, just like this unspoken understanding amongst weirdly animated objects.
Um,
It's like it's one of the things that the eye can't even like properly translate back to me. It just knows. It knows. I don't know.
so seeing this connection and feeling it himself,
Literally seeing it.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Egg kind of gets a little over enthusiastic and uh attempts to climb the eye to ride it like a horse.
I don't think that'll work. I think the egg's bigger than the eye.
Is it?
Why would they? What kind of egg are we talking about? Is it a robin-sized egg or is it?
Yeah, he's not a big egg.
Oh,
Eyeballs aren't big.
yeah, I
It's
thought
a
the
Takash-sized eye.
yeah, I thought photo made it look like it was like an ostrich egg, like something like this. I thought like a,
Yeah.
So the eye clearly is like confused, and then Egg is like, just like dejected that he couldn't actually accomplish what he sought to do. He really wanted to play cowboy.
Was it the eye or is it you? Is it the puppet master you that is disappointed that it can't do it?
You know, who's to say? Is there really a difference?
Right.
You could tell. Yeah.
So
It, like,
I
gets on the
assume
eye
I
can't
don't.
move.
Yeah, I assume I don't know that Takash like sees through his little eye companion. Is that right?
I can see through it, but you may not realize that.
He's never shared that outright.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just makes sort of a sense. Because I'm just imagining like the eye's eye view of this giant relative to the eye, this giant egg is essentially trying to climb over and get on its top. It doesn't really have a back. It's a very different kind of cowboy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it would really look like to ride an eyeball. Like its legs are literally the nerves that go back into the skull. So
So does that also mean you basically just pick this up and put it back in? Like, do you have to clean it? Because it's been like walking along the dirty ground.
I don't worry. I don't think I worry about it.
Takash isn't smart enough to think about stuff like that.
Germs.
Yeah,
Germ theory hasn't
Germ,
been,
yeah, germ
yeah,
theory
germ
isn't a
theory
thing
hasn't
for
come
us.
about yet.
Gosh, it's like 5-hour rule.
I think it knows well enough to just clean itself.
Yeah, that's a safe bet until you get meningitis.
Hey, I don't get it. He does.
Um, so it's gotten to the point where the branded one needs to invest hit dice in order to keep the thing going.
So I will do that. So just one for 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just investing the one for now. Especially since I can't see the ground super well.
Lux, what are you doing while this traveling is taking place?
I'm just observing everything since we made our agreement. And just to make sure that it doesn't go sideways. So I'm just watching everybody.
So after walking Blade through all of the technical things that he has achieved with the creation of this, which he also shares with Blade that this space is actually a demi-plane that is like vaguely only vaguely connected to Fernia itself. Then he also offers to show everybody and go through what each of the weapon stations can do. And including the weapon station at the top, which Melodia is in now, which he didn't really share with Melodia how to activate the weapon station. But there is one
Okay.
that so everybody becomes familiar with the various uh, operations that can be achieved. So you would know that you can create a bolt storm. There's also regenerative plating that you can support the vehicle in being able to survive impact that would otherwise maybe damage or disable the vehicle. You have the spell throne, which enhances spell magic when you're using it, and then the cannon that Lux activated that vaporized the Buja Dakide. So you get all of that, and he also goes through that the vehicle can actually transform in order to traverse more exotic terrain than what a normal vehicle can. So
Okay. And how many hours are we in? Like 2 hours already?
so by now it's been 4 hours since you invested your hit dice, Lux. And so as that happens, branded one, you notice that you see something approaching in the distance, as well as Melodia. You both notice this kind of at the same time. And what it looks like is uh, a pair of massive monoliths, stone monoliths that rise probably 100 feet into the air. Absolutely massive, and seem to be made of some kind of marble, a green marble.
And how roughly, if I can estimate, how far away are these? Like miles or like 100 feet?
No, I mean with it raising 100 feet into the air, I mean, and despite the limited viewing because of the humidity, you can see them, about 2, 3 miles out.
Okay.
Do I have a sense
I-
like that's where we're going?
Yeah, it actually does seem to kind of give you a mental ping that you're getting close to arriving where you're intending to go.
So with that, whatever that communication hatch thing you said, I do the 2-click thing, and then I head back downstairs into the main cabin area.
So you actually have to knock and have Ornifex let you
Okay,
in.
I do that.
Yeah.
It's a bad system.
Uh, I'm
Very
going to send
dangerous.
you, Frank, I'm sending you a message.
All right.
We need Blade to be better at stealing people's passwords. That's all there
I
is
know.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten a chance to hack the Wi-Fi yet. But if he was proficient in routers, he could just set up himself as a hotspot to intercept said password. It's like this is his own keyboard logger.
Tune into the Bluetooth. Exploit weaknesses there.
All right, sent.
While he reads that, I did have a question that I forgot to ask.
Mhm,
So my penance dare boon was sort of based on converting vitality points to sorcery points. So I
mhm.
assume that just converts over to spell points now.
Uh, yes.
All right. Ornifex lets me in, right?
Mhm.
All right. Um, I get in and I look around. I'm like, who's the? And I change the screen. I go over to Lux and I'm just like, who's that lizard guy over there? And you see me like not like I started to take my bow out and get an arrow, starting not like cocked, but starting to get ready. Like who is that?
I look for the lizard guy.
The only lizard guy you can see is Pantone.
You see me start raising my bow at Pantone.
Don't no shooting bow inside the inside. You got to take that outside.
Okay. Has he always been here? I who is this?
You don't recognize who that is?
No, I start taking a step back.
Huh. I look for Takash.
I'm just laying down.
I tell Trebek to go wake up Takash.
All right, Trebek does so. So Trebek comes over to Takash, and is Takash like awake and just like resting or
Yeah.
sleeping, napping?
Yeah, I mean maybe a light nap, but I'm probably roughly aware of some of the goings on.
All right.
This seems to be an open space.
So
Uh,
Trebek will come over and kind of nudge you and say, "Hey, Lux is asking for you."
Alrighty. Lux is there, or
Yeah, I'm about. Well, let's see if Melodia backed away from me, so I'm like right there.
yes?
You need to check on Melodia. She doesn't seem to recognize Mantone and was gonna shoot him with a bow. So I don't know. Something obviously is wrong.
I can try.
I mean, my only thought was to knock her out, but
Right now, she might win in a fight, but I'll go look at her. I'll. What's
You see
going
him,
on?
you see him like just skittish and eyes darting all over the place and just not really focusing on anything.
I don't know, medicine check. That's about really all I can do.
Okay. It's gonna be a secret medicine check.
All right, I get +8.
Well, that's pretty good. You could install this crossbow yourself.
Yeah, better than mine.
Yeah.
Self-surgery.
Well, it's a +8. Yeah, that's fair because it is medicine, which is wisdom. No, it's wisdom based, so it would drop by 2 if it were
Right, but the
dexterity based.
the plasma caster specifically says you can't perform the surgery yourself.
That's no fun.
Well, with action points.
With all of our action points.
All right, so Takashi, I'm gonna send you a message.
I don't know if it'll help, but I can do my divine sense as well to perhaps, make sure there's no other sort of. It doesn't really help with influences, really, but it just in case.
Okay.
And I guess I could also mind link with her. That way she can also mind link and allow her to be able to communicate telepathically with me
Okay.
during this. Oh, I'm exhausted. I don't know if that matters to you. So I do have disadvantage.
Between the mind link and the divine sense, it's canceling that out.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I'll ask her, what did you see outside?
Takes me a second just to, like, focus back on you, like I'm still like, and I focus in. I just like just wavy lines, heats, like it's just refractions. Not, I mean,
Was
Fernia,
there
but
was there water of any kind?
no, no.
None, of no form of water.
It felt like it was almost like steam, but no, it was just heat.
Are you sure it wasn't steam?
No, fog, low
Mhm.
fog.
I'll just kind of look over to Lux since she's there. Might be best not to step outside unless we absolutely have to. I don't know. Do I know of a way to sort of reverse this, or if it does go away over time, or
Um, I would say that a for something like amnesia, greater restoration could take it care of it for sure. Other lesser magics might have some effect, though, you know, they're they may be more difficult or imperfect.
okay. Yeah, so I'll just sort of let her know, and Melodia and everybody else, I suppose, who might be listening. This is, I believe, if we are in the realm of Feanor, she's quite ingenious. She's somehow managed to uh, vaporize the river Styx, which has this amnesia-inducing quality.
That is impressive.
So that lizard thing is friend?
That is a friend of yours, absolutely. I believe you should reconnect.
Maybe in a little bit.
I promise you, that is, as far as I know, called Pantone. That creature has been with you since I have known you.
Okay.
Aided us in combat, saved us a few times, I think. It is okay.
I trust you, but I don't get any closer. But
I'll look over to Pantone. She's going to need a moment. I'm like, I will attempt to mind link with Pantone.
Okay.
And try and like communicate with her and ask if she has like a mental link with Melodia of any kind. Normally.
So you're able to forge a link with Pantone,
Mm-hmm.
which suggests that Pantone is of a certain level of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also tell that that intelligence is still pre-verbal.
Sure.
So Pantone can understand a certain number of words and gestures, but doesn't really have the ability to communicate verbally with you.
Sure, sure. I will then just attempt to sort of convey that she needs to remain, or I don't know what Pantone is, I guess, but Pantone needs to remain calm. If perhaps take a seat, sit.
Pantone kind of cocks her head at you, and is like, it's like snarl.
It's not for me, it's for her.
It is very clear from the body language, but also from some of the emotional response that you're getting through that connection with Pantone, that it's essentially saying, you're not master.
Yes, no shit. Just all I'll do is convey friendly, trying to help.
You got to be
But
the
that-
alpha. Don't let Pantone start bossing you around.
I'll just turn back to Melody. I'm like, she won't listen to me. She will only listen to you. Go ahead. Ask her to sit.
I do like a hand, like a sit. Just from like sit.
She does as commanded.
So I'm warming up. I'm still this is 5 feet closer, but I'm still like, okay, like I'm just like still like that dog at someone's house, just like, okay, you know, and I still don't fully trust you yet, but okay. You're cute enough.
Good. You work on this. We must confirm exactly what we need to do. Did you see anything else up there besides the fog slash steam slash whatever?
I remember those the pillars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's two green stone obelisks in mile-ish away, I think. 3 miles? I forgot what you said. 100 feet tall. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have two stone obelisks, almost like it looks like almost like a gate entranceway approaching. I told branded one to stop and came down here. So I don't see the branded one, so I don't know if I'm assuming I can feel if the momentum of the vehicle stopped or not, but
Not here, no.
oh, okay. So I don't know if you stopped yet.
Yes, I'll turn to I forgot the fucking thing's name.
Ornifex.
Ornifex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cocksucker. Is the pilot seat of this vehicle, does it have any sort of exposure to the outside?
No.
Well, that's good. I do not recommend going out just yet, unless you happen to be resistant to having your memory wiped in some fashion.
I don't remember that happening.
Very funny.
Did you want me to open the door to let your driver in? Speak with him.
Are we able to speak through the open door?
If the door is open, yes.
Can we? Yeah. So how about can we just leave the door open then? That way we
No.
don't have to. Why not? We need to be
Because-
able to communicate.
this space, it's the openings cannot be left for too long. If they are, then it threatens to destabilize this demi-plane.
Very good. How long is too long? Can we drive a couple of miles with it?
Perhaps, but every moment that the door is left open, there is a risk that the grows, that the space will destabilize.
Would you be able to monitor this so that we know when to close the door in time?
Not as accurately as I would like.
Fair enough. Then just a brief moment then while we at least communicate with the branded one.
That is doable.
Remind me to ask him what he was branded by. Takash finally realizes what his name is. What does that mean?
Once the door is open, Takash, you get the sense that if you were to use your mind link ability on this on somebody in the cabin, the door closing would not prevent you from continuing to communicate with them.
Oh, that's good. Presumably,
So I
he opened the
imagine
door. Yeah.
all I remember is that like it was like one click is okay and two clicks was something bad. So I got like the 2 clicks and I've been like in evasive driving ever since.
Serpentine.
Zigzag motions. Run like a gazelle. What's a gazelle? I don't know, man.
So with the door open,
Yeah.
you're able to speak with the branded one.
I'll sort of fill him in on what happened to Melodia.
Who's Melodia?
Are you joking? I cannot tell.
I remember who Melodia is.
Okay, good.
Is she still on the roof?
No. And I have recommended that people don't go back up there because of what happened.
Well, I think we're getting close to the tomb. I don't think this mist is going to go away.
We will have to figure that out. We apparently cannot keep this door open, so I shall link with you mentally, and you'll be able to communicate with me. If you see anything that requires some extra eyes, perhaps.
What's the nature of this link?
I'll just do it.
I will resist if resistance is possible.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can resist. You can totally resist.
It doesn't say that you can.
It doesn't say that it has to be a willing creature.
No, any creature you can see within 110 feet of you. You don't need to share a language with the creature for it to understand, but the creature must be able to understand at least one language.
Can you post it?
For an hour, it'll last. Yeah.
I'm still gonna say that you can resist it.
Hmm.
Branded one, you can make intelligence saving throw against Takashi's spell DC.
DC is 16.
Uh,
Don't you have action points, right?
I do.
Well, he didn't roll a 1, so it's not like he's gonna die.
That would be funny though. That would be a funny way to go out.
Accidentally
His
fucking blow
range
your head up.
explodes,
Oh
yeah.
shit!
Right.
He
This
resisted. I
becomes-
couldn't help it.
This becomes an episode of Scanners.
I was really hoping when you said, no, it's just joking. I don't know who you are. And you push Takash off. We all level up.
It's fireball. Yeah, so I just talk to you straight into your mind like this. And now you can speak back. Have fun. Close the door.
So can
Testing.
do we only
Testing.
send language? I have to say this is an interesting point that I never actually thought would come up. I kind of imagine that the branded one is that sort of person who more thinks in images than in words.
He doesn't have an
Amazing.
internal monologue.
That's amazing. I'll allow it.
Hello, testing. Testing, can you hear me?
I mean, because I just failed this intelligence save after trying to figure out what this is, and now I'm hearing you in my brain. You begin to see an image of me stabbing you repeatedly.
Mm. So,
You have an interesting mind today, Brandon. Which reminds me, I never asked. What were you branded by again?
And then you get an image of you're basically, in my point of view, looking down as flames are lit all around you as they attempt to burn you at the stake. You then sort of black out and come back, and you're surrounded by silver flames that are still burning your flesh.
And that has like an actual physical like mark on your body too, right?
Yeah,
This effect.
he's clearly got this silvery thing on his skin are actually burn marks. And you could see in places his normal skin unburned by the silver flame. But where it was burned, you see this silvery effect.
Like, oh, okay. It felt rude to ask what the markings were for, but no, I understand.
So yeah, you then see an image of the two pillars, the two obelisks in the distance, which are probably closer now.
Excellent. Let us know when we get there. We can't tell that the vehicle is moving down here, so
So I'd probably drive around a little bit to try to see if there's anything sort of at the base of these obelisks or any further structures.
Um, yeah, so as you get closer, you notice that there appear to be figures all around these monoliths. Once again, it is a bit difficult to see uh, because of the effect of this fog and humidity, but this is what you generally envision. Give me a second while I populate your characters here.
Oh my God, guys, the Brando one is blacked out. Fucking terracotta army here.
That is a big butthole.
Sphincter.
So yeah. I'm sorry, but I can't unsee this now that Dustin said sphincter. With this being
Yeah,
the butthole, these being the legs, this is the cooter, and a river of blood flowing from the cooter.
That was what the map maker intended.
I made it.
I know.
Subconsciously.
Very nice.
So I would signal to Takash though I'm stopping.
I'll let people know. How
Right.
how close?
I mean, I assume none of these figures are moving.
No.
So then, yeah, about as close as on the map.
Is there steam around the obelisk?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And the river of blood, is that a river of blood or something else?
Actually, it is a river of blood that flows into this stairwell.
I'll ask our fiendish acquaintance here. I don't suppose there's any bottom hatch of this vehicle.
No.
It's a shame.
I remember seeing somewhere in here that it like self-rights itself. Or am I making that up?
The vehicle?
Yeah.
Important to plan for when we flip this thing.
Well, I was thinking, I mean, there's no bottom hatch, but there's a side hatch.
I mean, we could all just squeeze into the cabin and then pop the back hatch and dive down the stairway. Though, Takash, you get an image of my imagination of the stairway being filled with steam to this mist as well.
Okay. Perhaps you should come into this section of the vehicle for a moment so we can communicate all together.
So I will knock on the door. You also get the impression that I don't think it's a good idea for all of us to be in the back hatch at the same time. Because if anything happens to Ornifex or Ornifex jumps out, he could trap us all in here. Not much we could do about it.
Oh, sorry. It says it can't right itself until it's flipped upright.
Ah.
Or I thought it was can. I was expecting old like Halo, where just like you just flip the entire vehicle type thing.
Yeah.
With our immense strength.
Hmm.
By our powers combined, we are weak as fuck.
You know, like a Fire Nation tank. You knock it over, the cabin just flips up.
Yep, and keeps going.
Um,
So I will go down if Ornifex opens the door for me.
Yep.
So we seem
So-
to be here, but there's a small problem of this mind-altering mist around us. Also a small contingent of what I take to be statues. Possibly just ornamentation for the gravesite, but it's entirely possible they're constructs of some sort. Ready to come to life. It's possible they're all stone golems. I don't know how strong this Feanor is.
I would assume pretty strong, considering this mist that's surrounding our realm.
They're not the size of the typical stone golem, though.
There does seem to be many of them.
Hmm.
But the entryway down into the tomb seems clear enough. If Feanor is a trickster, that could be a problem. I can imagine there being many false openings to a tomb.
Indeed.
And this one is exceptionally obvious as it's between those two obelisks.
Well, it might be that the fog is meant to make one forget what they were even coming here for.
Possible. There's no reason to think that the fog is restricted to the surface. It could also, the stairway appears to be open, could easily have flowed down the stairs. Maybe not, but it's possible.
For the time being, we should probably assume that it does. Do we think that covering our mouths, breathing through something might help? I do not know.
Well, I'm pretty sure one of us at least doesn't need to breathe.
This is true. So I think he is shutting down for the time.
He could at least confirm whether or not there's mist in the tunnels.
This vehicle's doorway barrier, is it prevent particulates from flowing inside?
What are particulates?
Will it stop the fog from flowing in?
No. If there's fog outside and the oak door is open, fog will come in.
Still, we could send Blade into the main drive compartment, close the door. You could connect with him against his will in violation of all that is right and good. And then he could go out and investigate whether or not there's fog in the down the stairs that lead into the tomb.
Perhaps where Melodia went up to, can you get out of the vehicle from there?
Should be able to.
I mean, yes, it is open to the outside, but if we open the top, then there's direct access where the fog could come in.
Indeed.
We would all be exposed if this fog is so dangerous.
Currently, it seems to be a foggish form of the water of the river Styx. So it would be as dangerous as that would be, potentially. Possibly more, because you are breathing it in, but
Well, Ornifex should probably stay as far away from the doors as possible then, because the last thing we need is for him to forget the ritual that opens these doors.
Very, very true.
And that would mean, well, I mean, that would mean that he would have to tell us what the ritual is so that he doesn't have to be near it.
He could open it and retreat immediately, presumably. Since I'm sure he's not going to tell us.
No, I'm not.
Certainly puts us in a predicament. Is this a thing? Can you unlock it and then move away before it is open?
No.
But he can unlock it and move away as fast as possible. I don't think the fog is going to roll in at lightning speed,
And
especially since all we need to do right now is get Blade into the cabin where there is no fog. The only time it'll be a problem is Blade will open the door to go outside, so fog might come into the cabin, although we don't know how much. And then Blade will get back into the cabin, allowing perhaps more fog to get in.
Does that
Probably.
not still require the password to get out from the cabin?
I thought the door could be to the outside could be unlocked. Maybe I'm
Doors-
mistaken.
The doors outside do not require me to open.
Okay,
Just the entrances to this space.
understood. Then yes, that does seem to be the potential best course of action at the moment. How much time do we have on our current running of the engine? In case something bad does happen, Blade can quickly return and immediately take off.
It's nearing the end of the last hit dice that was spent.
So did I spend one or two? I don't remember spending a second one, but I definitely didn't mark it down if I did. I would have if the first 2 hours ended.
So you were still going on some from Lux. You had to reinvest a hit dice, and so you only spent one, but if you wanted to, it's like at the time where you would need to reinvest another. So this would be your second hit dice.
Yeah, I'll hold off. But I think we're here. If I don't want to invest it and then we drive for like 10 seconds and then I'm down inside the hole.
Yeah, I mean, we could use the weapons still.
That's true.
Potentially.
We could blow up all of the little statues using the weapons, thereby limiting the risk that they'll come to life and try to prevent Blade from getting back into the cabin. Of course, if I were Feanor, I probably would set up some way of knowing if somebody's destroying this tomb site. She invested enough in it to liquefy the river Styx.
Indeed.
I mean, there seems to have already been explosions here too.
That's true. I was thinking they were buttholes, but they're probably actually explosions.
Yeah, she kept projecting assholes into my mind for some reason.
Just really into it right now.
Everyone he came across. Yeah. Did you see more of these blast marks along the way, or are they just around here?
No, DM question.
It was hard to see because of the crawling fog, just how many blast marks there were. It's a little
Did
bit
it feel
clearer
like
here, but
did it feel like I was driving over craters though? Or was the ground just so uneven that it wouldn't be difficult to tell?
give me a perception check.
This is where I shine.
Uh, the suspension of this thing is just so smooth that you didn't notice very much change in terrain at all.
I don't think there were any explosions away from this site.
Just imagine Matthew McConaughey in like a Lincoln.
All right, all right, all right. The new Lincoln Town Car.
So yeah, this blade will get out.
Shall we get a little bit closer so that you don't have as far to move?
Sure.
Yeah, I would drive up and turn so that the hatch is pointed at the stairwell.
Okay.
Although that would also probably block line of sight to 2 whole columns of these stone statues. Glad the river of blood isn't that deep.
Covers like just a little bit of the wheel.
Okay, so you make the arrangements so that Blade can step out of the vehicle. So
Yeah. And yep, not that one.
If you have any breathing apparatus, turn it off.
so Blade, as you approach this stairwell going down, what you see is this acrid smog like swirls about this barren hill, and you see these giant monoliths. They're very, very tall. But around the more pressing thing that you notice is all of these dozens of armored knights that kneel motionless in reverence before the monoliths. And in between the monoliths is this stairway. It appears to be made of onyx leading down into this hill. If you were to take a look at the armored knights, you would notice that they're not just kneeling before the monoliths, but that each of them have their forehead resting on pommels of their swords.
Hmm. He takes that information and he says, this must be a some sort of cult.
Yeah, I would have done the mind link with you, obviously. That way we can communicate.
I would have said that somebody should at least one of us should man a weapon station. I don't know if we need to spend a hit die to see outside using the weapon. Or if you basically power up both the vision system, the targeting system, and the weapon itself.
No, you don't need to empower it in order to see from the weapon systems.
And then if the armored knights start coming after Blade, we'll be at the weapons.
Yeah. Well, Blade is gonna start, he'll peer down the stairs and start making his way down.
Okay. As you head down, you hear the trickle of blood as it flows down the stairs, covering sections of the stairs. And eventually, after about a dozen steps, you come into see a pair of basalt doors that block any further passage ahead. The surface is engraved with a relief of a familiar visage of Feanor, while the blood running from the stairs flows beneath the door.
Hmm. Uh, so, uh, the statues of Feanor. What was the other details about it?
So there's a relief of Feanor in the doors ahead of you.
Hmm.
It's a pair of double doors made of basalt.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll go through those doors.
So you attempt to go through the doors, but they're locked. And the doors don't have any visible handles, locks, bolts, anything that seems to be needed in order to open the doors.
Hmm. Suppose he'd look around and try to see if there's any sort of switch or torch or something that needs to be that could seem out of place that he might need to put back or
Nothing. Aside from the doors and the relief of Feanor, everything is featureless. It's just smooth carved stone.
Hmm. Blade will return back up the stairs and or I guess he has the mind link and he say there's a door down here. It seems it is made of basalt. I am looking for a key or for a way to open it, but it is locked. Probably by some magic.
And then one must probably do something to open it.
That's not... I have not been attacked yet. This is very good.
And the fog down in the bottom. Any?
What is the fog situation like down here?
It's fairly thick.
It is thick.
Delightful.
Is there anything like in the relief of Feanor in these double doors? Is there anything that's off about one of them?
What does the
You
relief
could do an
display?
investigation check. Nothing. It seems perfectly carved, like perfectly. There's no marring, there's no chipping, there's no fading of any of the details. I mean, it was either done by magic or a truly masterful artisan.
Locked doors are always the true boss villain of every D&D campaign.
Now Blade's a little stumped.
I'll ask the crew inside the vehicle. What do we know of this Feanor character?
I've never actually met her. I've heard her name mentioned. I think Blade and Lux encountered her at some point. Some sort of undead, I gathered, but not actually from Fernia. Just in a plane that touches Fernia. She had some sort of beef with some warlord. Maybe Buja Nikite, I don't really know the distinctions among the warlords.
Undead?
I got that impression, but I could be wrong.
I'll ask Blade then. Do you have some equal part to you that is like our blood?
I didn't. Actually, I don't know, because like some, I don't remember if Warforged have some biological components or if they're all machine.
They do have some organic components. I think it's down to flavor, whether or not you'd have some kind of fluid.
Yeah, that's how I treat it. Kind of how you imagine it.
Yeah,
Because I mean, it doesn't change the fact that you're a construct.
right. I
But
have
some Warforged have like wood incorporated into them.
Hmm.
I have special fluids.
That's true. Weren't you like filling whole tankards with your fluids at some point?
Yeah, where's the blood running to?
It's running over the stairs and flowing into the crack beneath the door. Doors.
I guess maybe, he would pick up some of the, or like dip his hand in the blood and try to just smear it on the door itself, like on Feanor.
Okay. You do that, and after a few moments, nothing changes.
Hmm. There's no keyholes, no nothing. I guess he'll knock to see like how thick the door is.
Give me an investigation check. It's a very thick door. You don't really hear much, which makes you think that it's a fairly solid and large slag of stone acting as a door.
There must be a password. I see nothing else that could work.
Were you able to provide any blood?
I mean, I used some blood that is flowing down, but not my own.
I mean, just assuming I'm just going off of, necromancers and these evil mages. Generally, they would demand a sacrifice to gain interest in anything like this. They want to weaken you before you can get to their treasure. Make it so you cannot get out.
Of course. Yeah, I guess then Blade would, reach into his chassis and pull out his special fluid. Has got some on has some on his fingers, not the same fingers that were in the blood, but different set of fingers, and then he begins to like wipe it.
Yeah, you don't want to cross contaminate, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You wipe it on the door, on the relief. Draw a little mustache on Feanor.
So you do that, and there's a few minutes that go by and nothing changes.
He's gonna kick the wall. You dumb thing.
Maybe she's racist against Warforged. I'll just turn to everybody and like, he's not able to gain access. There is a door in his way. There is fog all the way down.
So yeah, I would ask like what he's tried.
He's examined things. I told him to rub some of his blood, whatever equates to blood, up for him, or to provide that somehow. But again, I don't know what it looks like. He Blade does not seem to think like you. I only get words from him.
Well, if he smeared his special fluid all over her image, I'm surprised he didn't hear another lock click into place. I may have a way that he hasn't tried, but we would have to long rest first. But if Baldur's Gate taught me anything, it's that knock is unreasonably effective.
It's pretty useful.
I skipped the whole Gauntlet of Shar, just cast knock on that final platform, and it unlocked it so you could just go down. No trials.
Sure.
So, Takash, give me an insight check, and Branded one, give me an Arcana or Religion check.
It's the 11 because I'm still exhausted.
Okay. So, Branded one, knowing that for necromancers, life force is a key component in what they manipulate, the forces of life and death. There is a possibility that perhaps there's something that Blade is unable to be triggered, or is unable to trigger because he is not alive and maybe not undead. because he is a construct.
Mhm.
It's a theory. You don't know if it's accurate, but it's something that the branded one might consider.
I'd say
Additionally,
she's probably racist against Warforged.
additionally, Takash, you know, you would have a sense from your oath of the Watchers, because one of the things is protecting against the influence of creatures beyond the normal human experience. And so you could, through some effort, tweak the way that your aura works to protect those within the aura from the effects of the fog. But doing so would prevent you from granting anybody, including yourself, that bonus to saving throws.
I have action points. Understood. Yeah, so if we have if we have an idea as to how we might get through, I believe I can protect us at least for some time.
Well, before we do that, it may be the instinct to splash blood or some vital living essence on the door is a correct one. And that Warforged being constructs are merely not the sort of life force she is looking for. In which case, I would suggest that our backup may be Lux, as I don't think Lux would be affected by poisons. And so it may not be that she'd be affected by this mist. Depends on the very subtle distinction of whether the mist is a poison or disease, and in that category, or a curse. But if it is the river Lethe, the river itself, I've never heard it described as cursed. Or sorry,
Never heard it
Styx.
described as never heard it described as poisons either. It's just a natural effect of the waters.
It could fall into some special whiplash category, but usually they have to go into some pre-existing category.
Magical in nature, for sure.
Or we could walk in together under your protective aura, but if that's going to limit its usefulness once we're beyond the door.
That depends on if I could just use an action point to maintain both.
My only concern is that if we rush headlong down there and then are stymied by the door, we may come back and I will have forgotten enough that I can no longer simply gain access to the knock spell and try that.
Yeah.
Especially if I don't know who any of you are or why I would want to go through the door where the blood is flowing.
To be fair, yeah, I am rather exhausted. I lost a considerable amount of blood, I believe, today. If we manage to get through, then we are inside a dangerous location, requiring a rest.
How far away are we from being able to benefit from a long rest? I mean, it wasn't even noon before, and it's been like 4-ish hours.
Yeah,
So
so
presumably still a while.
it's probably like 6 o'clock, maybe equivalent.
I would hate to lose a quarter of a day. So perhaps we should just try.
That is another factor. You guys aren't on the clock.
Yeah.
The eclipse is coming.
Yeah.
I have
Well,
0
you
spell
should-
slots.
If you have an idea, you should come down here. If you are able to.
I mean, so far we still can't get through the door, so I agree it's probably worth it for you to try to use your aura to protect people. But at the moment, if we went down there and all we can do is try to splash blood on the door, that might not work. It's only a possibility. I'm not sure whether or not everyone should go just to attempt that plan. I still think your aura protecting people would be useful in that situation. But if it works, you can come back, collect the whole group, and we can go in.
Who
And if it
knows
doesn't
what-
work, you probably will
knows?
just come back.
If we manage to open the door, who knows what that won't trigger? We have all of these very ominous statues standing outside.
And in that case, we probably wouldn't want the vehicle to stay here anyway. The statues come to life. That's a bad day for many reasons.
Yeah, which is why I did consider if we need to imbue more energy into this machine, it can be driven away safely while we deal with what's inside.
I mean, we would have to leave the vehicle presumably to either Trebek or to Ornifex to drive.
Preferably Trebek. No offense,
None taken.
but it would
I
be
am
together
indebted
at
to you,
least.
But that would be a tempting
Time
option.
to run.
So I will give up a little bit of my life force, power this vehicle for another 2 hours. We can leave Trebek here and Ornifex. And the rest of us can, under your protection, go down. Knowing that we may have to retreat in any event.
Indeed. Shall we?
I'll spend another hit die to repower this thing.
Okay. Who's all going? Everyone? Except Trebek.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Melodia, how do you feel about this dinosaur following you?
I feel during all of this, I've been like, not training, but like trying to like trusting into Takasha's words and realizing that like, hey, it's been listening to me, but still really 50-50 at best. That's sort of how I'm feeling. Like I don't feel confident, but everyone else that I trust feels confident around it. So I'm sort of going off of that right now.
Okay.
And that it's for whatever reason it listens to me.
All right. Lux, what are your thoughts about the plan?
My thoughts about the plan. Oh, well, I'm sure it's absolutely terrible, but you know, we don't have any other choices. So
Okay. So the group of you approach the door, staying close to Takash to remain within the protection of his aura. And you meet with Blade. As you proceed down down the stairs, you encounter the same thing as Blade did. This basalt door with a relief of Feanor, with a trickle of blood flowing over the stairs and down into the crevice between the door and the floor. But the moment one of you living souls comes within 5 feet of the door, a wraith emerges from beyond the door. And it looks at the group for a moment. And then it says, "Ye art not mine own master. Speaketh the word granted by mine own master, and this shade shall step aside. With her word or by my destruction, you shall gain passage. But be warned, if thee shouldest violence choose, then a more dangerous undertaking lies beyond this threshold."
I
You
see.
guys learn any potential passwords from Feanor?
We have the water jug password. We can say that.
You still have that evil ring that you were trying to
Yeah.
pawn off?
Uh,
You guys got rid of the ring.
yeah, we did.
That storm was following it.
I just looked at Blade and Lux. Well, you know her best. Better than we do.
Hell if I can remember.
She wrote a book on the magical theory of dragon marks and their bearers.
Is there any
I
clue?
just stare at you waiting for that to be relevant.
Is there a clue there? Or-
Yeah, maybe the clues in the passwords written in the book somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
do you have this book? Is there a password in the margin? Yeah, do you have something?
yeah,
Oh, I think we saw that book at Charms and Harms. I don't know if we got it.
I don't think you did purchase it.
Did we?
I don't think you did.
Yeah. That would have been opportune.
to realizing we're not going to figure it out from that, I cast Blessed Flare at the Wraith. I do not have a good wisdom. I am not patient. Oh, I may not have hit the Wraith.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
You actually did.
If I had a spell slot, if I had a $30 spell slot, I could have countered that.
And so with that, we'll end there. And we'll pick up next time rolling initiative.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Now we're gonna have to deal with the fucking statues.